Hey guys, so we are going to go over today mixed fractions and how they turn into improper fractions. But first we have to figure out what is an improper fraction. And so if we take a look here, okay, what is an improper fraction? I don't know. Let's look at a normal fraction to begin with. So our normal fraction that we have is 2 over 5 or 2/5. And so if I look at that, I can say, well, something that I notice about it is that the numerator is less than the denominator, right? 2 is less than 5. So this is a normal fraction. So if I showed you an example of an improper fraction, it might look like this. Okay, now what do you notice about the fraction? Well, now I notice that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Was that even a fraction? Like, that's just kind of weird. Why would the numerator be larger than the denominator? And this is a fraction that's larger than 1, just like mixed numbers, as we learned the other day. Mixed numbers combine, like let's say our mixed number is 1 and 2/3. It combines a whole number with a fraction. And so what we're saying is that there's a way to write this as just a whole, as one fraction, instead of having a number next to a fraction. So this shows you that there is an amount that's greater than 1, but still has a fractional part. And that's the same thing that this does. Okay, this is what we call an improper fraction. So a definition for an improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, so a fraction where the numerator, this is supposed to be a u, is larger than the denominator. And so you could write an example of that would be like 9/5. Okay, so when we're learning about mixed numbers and improper fractions, there's ways to go between them. There's ways to make a mixed number an improper fraction and to make an improper fraction a mixed number. And so what we're going to do is take a look at how we can go between those. But we're going to start out slow. And so we are going to do one at a time. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with our first example, which we are going to take a mixed number and make it an improper fraction. And so let's start out with the easy one. Let's do 2 and 4/5. 2 and 4/5. Now, what I'm going to do is write the answer, and I want you to see if you can figure out how did I get that answer using what you have here. Okay, so our answer is going to be 14 over 5. So 2 and 4/5 equals 14 over 5. How can you use these numbers in the mixed number to get to something like this? Like, what do you notice? The first thing I notice is that the 5 in this denominator moved over. So basically it just went, and it went into that denominator. So it looks like the denominator stayed the same. I noticed that there's a 4 here, and there's a 4 here, but it's 14 in that case. So how could I use these numbers to equal 14? Now let's think about this. This is 2 whole amounts, right? And as a fraction of 5, that would be like 2 sets of 5 over 5, right? So 2 is like 5 over 5, because we know that's 1. And then 5 over 5 again. Okay, add those up and we get 2, right? So if we did 5 and 5 and 4, what would that equal? If we just like added it up, it would equal 14, right? And isn't that, that's that amount. So is there a faster way rather than writing all of this out down here? Like this is basically 5 2 times. Wait a second. 5 2 times plus 4? Actually, that is exactly how we do this, and we call it the big C. So normally when you write the letter C, you start at the top and you make your way down, right? Well, this is the big C, so it's a little bit different. When we write the big C, we start at the bottom and we work our way up. So the first thing that we do is we multiply starting here and on our way up. So that would be 5 times 2. Okay, and 5 times 2 equals 10. Then, as we make our way up to the top of the big C, we add. 10 plus 4 gives us 14. So, using the method of the big C makes this a very fast, very simple process. So no matter what these numbers are, you know you're going to start at the denominator. You're going to go over to your whole number and multiply, get your answer. Then you're going to add the numerator to that answer. That becomes your new numerator, and your denominator always stays the same. So let's try another example. What if my mixed number was 3 and 7/10? 3 and 7/10. So if I start with 3 and 7/10, and I'm looking to make an improper fraction, an improper fraction is where our numerator is larger than the denominator. First off, there's something that I can automatically write my answer. What is that? You're right, even though I can't hear you. It's the denominator. So slide that puppy over. Don't forget the denominator doesn't change, because no matter what we're talking about here, our pie is always cut into 10 pieces. Okay, that's what the denominator tells us. And nothing changes when we move over to this one. It's always going to be cut into 10 pieces. So let's go ahead and make our big C. Start at the bottom and go all the way up to the top. On the first round, we multiply. 3 or 10 times 3 or 3 times 10 is 30. Then we add 30 plus 7, and that is 37. So the improper fraction that's equal to our mixed number is 37/10. Pretty simple, right? I bet you can do another one. What if we did 5 and 9/11? 9/11. 5 and 9/11. Okay, so let's make our improper fraction 5 and 9/11. And so bring over your denominator first. And now we make our big C. So multiply, then add. 5 times 11 is 55. And then come up here and add 55 plus 9. What's 55 plus 9? 55 plus 10 would be 65. So take one away and it would be 64. Oh my goodness, that's a big improper fraction. So what this is saying is that we're going to have a bunch of pies, and they're all cut into 11 pieces. And 64 pieces are being used. Okay, so what that means is that 5 whole pies would be gone, and 9 of the 11 slices would be gone in the 6th pie. So there would be 6 whole pies. They're each cut into 11 pieces, and 64 of those pieces are being used. So that's kind of where an improper fraction makes a little bit of sense, because it tells us exactly how many pieces instead of saying 5 pies and 9 pieces are gone, right? Or 5 pies and 9 pieces are still there. We don't know. We're just given a random fraction. I don't know what it means. It can mean whatever we want to right now. But we know that we can start at the denominator, go up to our whole number and multiply, finish out your big C by adding the numerator, and your denominator never changes. That's the beauty of it. So we learned what an improper fraction was today. It's a fraction whose numerator is larger than the denominator. And we learned how to go from a mixed number, which is a whole amount with a fraction. We learned how to change that to an improper fraction. So watch the other video as well because there's some really good examples on there. And then make sure you took notes and then go ahead and get started on your worksheet today. Okay? Good luck, guys. Have fun.